Hello, everybody, and welcome here to Phoenix International Raceway here for the Crown Jewel Legacy Sportsman Trucks Series presented by TH Designs here at Legacy Phoenix, or as we call it, Phoenix International Raceway here in Arizona. My name is Christian Delgado, your lead producer and commentator for tonight's race, and happy to be here. Can't wait for this really good action. Obviously, we've seen some really good racing from the start of this season. Had some photo finishes, and obviously we had Corey Mott come home victorious last week at Homestead, Miami Speedway. So can't wait to see what can go on here. But as we say that, we got about 8 minutes left in practice. Lee Hamby, once again, fast at practice once again. See if he can actually go up here and not get caught up in something out of his doing. Currently, fastest lap is from this 914 machine. It's a 28.683. Next in line is going to be Xander Short in that 2 machine with the 28.763. So almost a whole tenth quicker than the field here is Lee. James Hebert in this number 25 is going to be P3 in practice, 28.7. But obviously here at Legacy Phoenix, or Phoenix International Raceway, obviously after the repave and the kind of, changing of licenses, Phoenix International Raceway was changed and renamed to Phoenix Raceway. They cut out the international in the name for some particular reason, but now we're here in the Legacy. Obviously, we're in the Legacy Sportsman Truck Series with these old 2008 Chevrolet Silverado, so I think it fits that we go to the old version of Phoenix. Obviously, very common here in like the Pickup Cup Series and stuff like that, so I think this will also go into the hand of making some good racing. Obviously, everybody in this sim has at least their own Pickup Cup at Legacy Phoenix once. It's a free car track combo on the sim once you buy the subscription here for iRacing. It's something you can just hop in and do whenever you want, right? It's a unranked series, so you can go in there and have fun, wreck some people, or do whatever you want, and it won't affect any of your ratings, which I think is really cool. You see Lee coming down Pay Road here. We'll try to pick up someone else who's on track. Jeffrey Oakes, new to the Legacy Sportsman Truck Series, making his first laps in practice. Bring this one up. It is Kelly Blue Book Silverado making his first laps. Who else do we have out on here? It looks like Ted Lisby. P10 in practice out on the track. Kind of bored with Ted. He's going to show you around the track for a lap or two. The lap around here, and we'll take a back on board with the blimp cam, I think, and we'll show you kind of the key differences between this older version of the track and the newer one. Obviously, you see a lot of grass here at the Phoenix International Raceway, and you see this dog leg. In this new reconfigured dog leg, there's no grass there in the new repaved version. Here at Legacy Phoenix, or Phoenix International Speedway, Raceway, my apologies. There's that grass there, so it does really narrow up the dog leg and narrow up the track to where it can make it a lot harder for these drivers to pass and stuff. You can't go down there and cut the dog leg like you would normally. And that's going to be very challenging. To the 53 of Brian Persinger, making his debut in the Legacy Sportsman Trucks Series. And his number 53 Navy machine. Nice looking hot rod. Joe Gibbons out on track. Battling with former veteran and league owner Corey Mott. Last week's winner, Corey Mott. Corey making his first laps out on track. Currently P16, but obviously outlaps for him. Obviously, he didn't run very well in practice last week either. He went out there and won the race. Obviously, a little bit of a different story last week where kind of two of your most dominating trucks got taken out in a wreck. But the Corey going around there. Got about 3.5 minutes left. Let's see if we can try to pull up your points for your Legacy Sportsman Truck Series. I cannot find the points on here, so we will not be able to look at points here. But obviously, Corey Mott's are in pretty well here. These last couple series, obviously, didn't have the best Daytona, but won at Homestead, and now we're here at Phoenix. So, you know, only round 3, so there's still a lot of time for some of these drivers to come out and make something out of this, right? I mean, there's been some people like Lee Hamby, who is currently, you know, your fastest at practice, has been competitive every race we've gone to. Hasn't been able to put the pieces together to come out here and really even finish a race. So, you know, hopefully Lee can have a little bit better luck. I mean, I feel bad always looking at the results and seeing him, you know, out of the race early when he's just this dominant of a truck. No Charlotte in that preseason test got caught up in the restart. Didn't have the best start, got ran over. Daytona got caught up in the big one, giving Joe Gibbons the win. Homestead got caught up in some stuff, forcing him to leave early, and now we're here at Phoenix. So right now, by far, I would say one of the best trucks in the field, a 10th quicker than the rest of the field. For a short track like this, those 10s really do add up. Well, I wouldn't call it a short track. You can call Phoenix kind of like a cross between a short track and a 1.5 miles. Obviously, Phoenix a lot longer than a general or a typical short track. But it does drive, I would say, similar to a short track where you have to be pretty, you know, you have to know what you're doing, right? You have to be good under the brakes. You need to keep the car rotated and stuff. You overshoot the corner, you're gonna completely mess it up, especially here at it too, because that wall catches up on you quick if you overdrive it. But with that all said and done, 10 seconds and counting left in practice. Unless someone comes out here with the heater lap. Lee Hamby, we're looking at him. Going to be your fastest in practice here at Phoenix. Like that will get your qualifying started. Drivers get 2 laps here for qualifying, so we'll see who can come out here on the fastest, and See if we can find Zach Johnson first out on track. See what this 33 can do. Zach ran a couple of races here this season. Hasn't been able to make every race. I don't think he was here last week for Homestead. Decided to come out here for Phoenix. Ooh, a little sideways at it too. Wow. Going through the dog leg now, going into 3 and 4. Back yawn this truck out.
Test 1, 2.
Long clear.
Oh, we still have the VC on.
I've been released from prison.
You released yourself.
We will try to turn this off for you guys. I'm sorry about that, chat. 1 second. There we go, chat. You will not see the UI for the rest of the race. I promise you that. Zach Johnson, currently P2. James Hebert, currently pole sitter. Michael Deitch out on track, completing his first lap. E4 for Michael Deitch, 29.415. Once Deitch gets to the line, we'll go right to your fastest to practice, Lee Hamby. To the line. Michael Deitch up to P5. Lee Hamby goes to the top of the board. 28.739. Still has the second lap to go through. Coming to the line now. Can he improve? 28.840. So no, will not improve on that time. Jonathan Ledger out on track. He's going to be completing his second lap. The line, Ledger. 29.616. P10 for Ledger. We're waiting on 4 drivers to make a lap. Bombard with Garth as he blows that truck up. And now Garth P5. Joe Gibbons P12, 29.811. Hudson Sangster makes his way into the session. About a minute left in qualifying, so probably will not make a lap time here. I don't think any of these guys plan on running laps here with only a little over a minute left in practice or in qualifying. We saw Xander Short, he's continued to do this, so that's not something I'm surprised to see. Hudson's probably not going to even make it in time if he wants to make a lap. Jeffrey Oaks, new to the series, maybe just wants to start at the back, stay out of trouble. Tyler Bellinger, I'm pretty sure qualified when he came here to Daytona, but maybe wants to start at the back as well with Xander. But we're getting down to the time where even if they want to now, not going to be enough time now as we're sub 30 seconds, and at the very least, that's the lap time that they need to run. Yeah, let's get around to start the lap. So just like that, Lee Hamby going to be your pole sitter for tonight's race with a 28.739. Good lap by that 914. Obviously, he was fastest in practice, so it was already shown that he might finally be the guy to beat and might be able to put the pieces together to finally take one home here for the Sportsman Legacy Trucks Series. Just like that, we're going to get ready for your race to start here at Phoenix International Raceway. We will continue to wait on these drivers to adjust the trucks to their liking. Obviously, we try to explain this before every race. But these drivers have a lot of tools in the toolbox that they can use to adjust the truck the way they like, whether that's steering ratio, brake bias, all kinds of stuff. To make the truck drive a little bit better. Obviously, you can really set the truck up in qualifying to get a good lap out of it. But if you have that same set during the race pace, it might be a little bit harder to drive on the long run and all that stuff. So, but with that said, we got most of our drivers out. So go ahead and get our starting grid. Brought to you by HVTV. So Lee Hamby are going to be your pole sitter. James Hebert in that number 25. Going to round out the front row. Ryan Persinger with Zach Johnson going to round out row 2. Row 3, Garth Griswold with Corey Mott in that number 99. 7th going to be Michael Deitch in the number 17 machine with Ryan Taft going to be P8. Rounding out your top 10, Ted Lisby with Jonathan Ledger going to round out that top 10. Jim Mott in P11 with Joe Gibbons, your winner at Daytona. Going to wrap P and P12th. P13, Zach Short looking pretty quick, along with Tyler Bellinger very quick at Daytona as well. Aiden Higginbottom going to be P15 with Hudson Sangster 16th, and rounding out the field in that number 20 machine, Jeffrey Oaks. But 150 laps here at Phoenix, so 28. I would say they're probably going to fall off to about 30, 32 lap second time. So it's definitely not going to be a slouch of a race here. It's going to be a little bit of a longer race here, which I don't mind, right? It's really going to showcase the driver's talents and what can happen and what can potentially go into here. See the lights off on that pace truck, which means we'll be going green this time by. It will be the 914 and the 25 locking up that front row with the 53 and the 33. That Navy and M&M's machine going to be your fast 4. You can see that pace car hook a hard left. And Lee Hamby, your pole sitter, is going to lead us to green here at Phoenix. Complete that first lap. It's going to be Lee Hamby going to lead the field back to the second lap. To that 25. James Hebert. And now everybody kind of single filed out, trying to find their pace, trying to figure out what's the best line to run and how they're going to set up this truck. Unsure of what fuel mileage is going to be here for these legacy trucks. Even at Phoenix, right? I'm completely unsure, so that's going to be an unknown of when we're going to see trucks come down pit road. Right now, this two closest guys together is this 33 and this 53. Ryan Persinger trying to run down the 33, get around him for that P3 position. 33 is going to try to look inside. Maybe no. We're going to think better of it. Going to try the top. Now with these legacy trucks here at Phoenix, it's going to be interesting because I felt like, you know, I ran this exact car track combo in a pickup cup race probably a week or so ago. And it really does show that tire wear will matter when it comes down to this. So I think these guys right now are just kind of sitting here, trying to figure out what pace they want to run and just kind of sending laps. I think that's the best thing that they can do right now. Ooh, see a big wiggle out of 33. 53 is going to take a look. Down low. This is a big compromising spot because you see the 33. He's trying to use the wall and he's going to use it, but I've noticed a lot in these trucks that if you get someone on your inside going down there in a 1 and 2, it's really easy to overdrive the corner to try to stay ahead of them. And the more you overdrive the corner, the more you're going to burn up those front tires, and the more the worse the truck's going to handle along once we get down to the long run. And with 15 trucks, everybody kind of spaced out already. I don't see a lot of cautions happening for a little bit at least. Garth Griswold's starting to lurk back there in that P5 spot. Be a battle for the P3 position now. 53's going to try to make a move. 53's going to have a run off the top though. And be side by side going down through the dog leg. 53's going to have the bottom once again going into 3 and 4. Side by side once again. Once again, the 33 is going to have to run off the corner from running that top lane. From them battling, now the 3 is definitely there to capitalize on any mistakes. Surprised that the 33 is content kind of running that higher lane. I felt like when I've raced that the top will always just burn your stuff off a little bit more. I feel like the 33 is kind of holding up these guys a little bit. Corey Mott back here also lurking, slowly catching up to the back of this 3-car pack. And Corey with a lot of momentum from winning there at Homestead last week. Obviously, he said he didn't think he had the best car, but just took advantage of the cars that were dealt with him. Obviously, you had 2 really quick machines that got taken out due to, you know, some miscommunication. Sandy Short ran into the back of a car who was pitting last week and took himself out of contention of that race. And it kind of opened the door for some other people to drive up to the field, and Corey Mott was one of those guys who obviously took home the checkered flag here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Still now going to be a 4-car pack here for this, you know, battling for 3rd through 6th. Lee Hamby starting to already gap the field here. Already a 2nd gap to the P2 driver James Hebert. And James has a 2.5-second gap to P3 there. I think Zach is really either doing a really aggressive job of trying to save tires, or he's just really holding up these guys and they just haven't been able to find a way around them. I've seen the 53 all over the back tailgate of this machine. Just has not been able to make the move to get around yet. Just there lurking, just has not been able to do something. As we have a caution. Caution is out. Maybe something happened to Ted Lisby. You see right there. Contact between him and the 17 of Deitch. And to spin it down into the grass. No harm, no foul, but caution out. You're on lap 15. Take one more look at that. Looks like the 44 hits the apron. Kind of drives up into the side of Michael Deitch. Yeah, just drives up into the side of him, gets that truck a little upset. He's going to spin it down into the grass. But like we said, no damage to that 44 machine. Just a little lazy spin. Surprised that was a caution. Looks like Zach Johnson actually threw that. So that was an admin caution. Maybe. That's interesting. But regardless, I don't know if people are going to want to come down pit road yet. Lap 15, now 16. It could be definitely a strategy call. I don't think we've ran enough laps. Where some of these fast guys are going to want to come down. I don't see anybody down pit road. Might see the 44 come down pit road, maybe make sure he doesn't have any damage. I don't see any damage on this 44, but you never know. 44 is serving as a year well penalty. Decides to stay out. My apologies. We had some drivers already come down pit road. Ryan Taft, Jeffrey Oakes, Joe Gibbons, Jim Mott, Jonathan Ledger, Ted Lisby did come down pit road. Everybody else, the top, looks like 9, decided to stay out here. Only had, you know, what, 14 laps of green flag runs on those tires, so see what we can do here. But you see the lights are off on the pace truck once again. We'll be going green single file here in the Legacy Sportsman Truck Series. Just like back in the good old days. Lap cars will start on the bottom, and these lead lap cars will start on the top, single file. Pace truck is off. Lee Hamby gonna lead us back to green here. Everybody once again kind of single file. Be back there, Michael Deitch. Maybe with some battling back there. Yeah, the 10 of Higginbottom. Ooh, Ryan Taft super loose going into 2. He's going to make the move. He's going to try to make the move on Higginbottom. Loose once again. He's going to drop some spots all the way back to the 12th position for Ryan Taft. I tried to be aggressive on those cold tires, and especially here with this truck. Takes a good couple laps to get the tires warmed up enough to where you can really push them hard, like I think Ryan was trying to do. Higginbottom getting past once again. The 8 going to use the top lane, get around them from the top. Joe Gibbons up to the P10 spot. Now a battle right in front of them. Jeffrey Oakes trying to get around Michael Deitch. Oh, Deitch into the wall. And allow the 8 of Joe Gibbons to take advantage. And he will. Joe Gibbons up to the P9 spot. Tyler Bellinger starting to drive up through the field. Trying to stalk down this 99 machine. Gonna look on the inside of Corey Mott. Gonna clear the 99. I think the 99 kind of a break, and that's gonna allow the 20 now to look underneath the 99. He'll make that pass work. Jeffrey Oaks up 8 positions into the P7 position. Currently your biggest mover on track. Newcomer to the Sportsman Legacy Trucks Series. Already starting to show that he has some pace here at Phoenix International Raceway. Once again, Zach Johnson in the 33. Starting to fall off from the front two of Hebert and Hamby. In the 53 and the 3 once again right there. Just kind of stalking this 33 machine. Hoping he makes a mistake. Ryan has been really patient when it came to, you know, staying behind the 33, whatever you want to call it. And right now, this 53 is just content. Riding behind Jack Johnson. No Garth content, running behind the 53. I don't think Tyler was going to be a big fan of sitting and riding around. I think he wants to get up there, try to run down these leaders. Honestly, I think Jeffrey's in the same boat. See what they can do. They've caught up to this 3-car little pack. Now make it a 5-car pack. Year 3 through 7. Griswold taking a look at the 53. 53 in the wall. He's going to fight strong on the top. Griswold going to drive it down here on the bottom of the apron. 53 in the wall. That will probably surrender the spot to the 3 now, side by side with the 88. Bellinger trying to get around this Navy machine. Bellinger will make the pass. Put him up inside the top 5. '53 in the wall once again. Drop him all the way back from P3 to P7. Just like that. Foul behind Joe Gibbons. Under attack from Ryan Taft. Ryan Taft with a lot of damage. What happened to him? Oh, wow. I don't know what happened there. It looked like he just got loose. And now we have another caution. I don't know if that was for Ryan. He was the one who threw it. Go back here. It looks like Garth Griswold was some damage. While we're looking at that, we'll take a look and see what happened to Garth. So Garth fighting with the 88 and just kind of gets ran over by the 20. Man. So, ooh. Hayden's going to get around them. That's unfortunate. We'll take a different look on board. We'll take a look at our chopper camera. Always gives us some good insight. You see, he gets loose, trying to keep it off the 88, and I don't know if the 20 didn't expect him to be a little bit slower. Just kind of runs in the back of him, runs him over. That all being said, Pit lane's open. Here comes the leaders. Some guys who elected to stay out. The 20 of Jeffrey Oaks, who just involved in that caution. Joe Gibbons also decides to stay out. Tyler Bellinger coming down pit road again. I give third to Lee Hamby. Interesting call by the 28. They have 16 laps on those on this stint, I guess, if you want to call it that. The 16 versus freshies. I'm not going to say that's a bad thing, because obviously this is around the same amount of laps, wear, or whatever you want to call it, that the leaders had during that first caution, and they were still able to pull away compared to some of these guys who came down and got freshies. So maybe it could work for these two. They have the track position, now they're going to have to hold on to it, but Lee is going to be a hard charger. You already know that. We're back green. Lee already on the inside of that 8 machine. We're going to take the P2 spot away. 33 of Zach Johnson going to clear away as well. And Lee already looking underneath the 20 machine. This Tyler Bellinger might have crashed. Like he's okay. Back to the lead. 33 of Zach Johnson. Gonna try to look at this 20 machine. If you're trying to stay tough on the top, you see the 8 in the wall in the back. Joe Gibbons in the wall. Corey Mott gonna try to take a look now, taking advantage of that mistake. Corey, side by side. He's gonna clear. Here comes Hindbottom on the bottom to follow that 99 through. Zach Johnson under fire now from the 25 of Hebert. Hebert's looking pretty racy today. People have had trouble getting around this 33 machine. How aggressive will James be to get around them? Zach is just really good at putting that truck wherever he needs to keep pace. The 25 will get around them. Michael Deitch back here in P14. Off the pace. 19 seconds. off the leader. Antigone race leader Lee Hamby already starting to pull away. Over a second gap to that P2 spot. Jim Mott with some issues. He falls down the charts. Corey Mott going after the 20 machine. Jeffrey Oaks starting to fall back after staying out on those old tires. Higginbottom gonna make a look now. But Hayden up in the P6. A little pack back here, you see Garth Griswold still a lot of front end damage. Trying to hold on to P8. But Joe Gibbons is there. Ted Lisby's there. Joe into the wall again. And Ted's gonna make that pass. Play him up in the P9. If this 44 can run down the 3 machine. That 3's got a lot of damage. Right now your closest people on track are Higginbottom and Mott. About 4/10 away from each other. Everybody's starting to get kind of strung out single file. This is kind of the first time we've seen this all season, really, right? First race was at Daytona, you're not going to expect that. But even at Homestead, everybody was still kind of on top of each other. There's always kind of a battle somewhere in the field. This is kind of the first race we started to see people start to get a little bit strung out and just trying to run their own race. I don't mind them for doing this, right? We're not even a quarter of the way done with this race. 144 of 150 complete, so. Well, 45 complete. And Higginbottom slowly running down your E5 driver of Corey Mott. We continue to look. And yeah, right now, currently your closest battle is right here for this P5 spot. Go through the field. Lee Hamby, your race leader, with a almost 1.5 gap to James Hebert in the 25 machine. And James himself almost has a 1.5 lead over Zach Johnson, who's sitting in P3. 2 seconds back is Ryan Persinger, and number 53 Navy machine. Corey Mott, we've been looking at him back there in P5, starting to get slowly ran down by the 10 Dynaco machine of Hayden Higginbottom. Jeffrey Oaks with those older tires back there in P7. with Garth Griswold with a lot of that, so heavy left front damage on that, right front damage, my apologies, on that Wrangler machine. Ted Lisby trying to run him down in that P9 position. P10 Joe Gibbons. They've been struggling with that truck all day. Jim Mott back there in P11. Bellinger had an issue back here in P12. We expected him to be up there towards the front a little bit more. Jonathan Ledger, P13, and rounding out the rest of the field, Michael Deitcher in the 17 machine back there in P14. Ryan Taft out early after that, him making that damage, hitting the inside wall. Out early. But everybody's still clean and green. Are starting to get tracked down by Ted Lisby. Slowly. Joe Gibbons under attack by the 88. Bellinger finally getting around to make that pass easy. Bellinger up inside the top 10 once again. We go further ahead. Corey Mott has a nose full of Higginbottom. Higginbottom has been there. He's been slowly closing in. And now they're at least enough to pressure Corey. If Corey makes a mistake, he's going to be right there to take advantage. Corey, in anything you go to, has some of the best long run speed in the field. Corey's caught the 53 machine. Bersinger, the handling's fallen off of that truck. And both the 10 and the 99 are going to make quick work of that 53 machine. Back here, Jeffrey Oaks starting to get ran down. The 3 and the 44 starting to hunt down this 20 machine. Jeffrey looks pretty good. I just think him staying out on those older tires is starting to show it, right? 40 laps on these tires for this 20 machine. You know, 25 for everybody else. This is where you start to show 15 laps is a lot when it comes down to this late in the run. It's starting to show. Battle here for the P4 spot. Corey Mott makes some mistakes, going to allow Higginbottom to try to make this bottom lane work. Corey Mott will clear once again. Not quite, actually. And going to look to the bottom once again. To put the 10 up into the P4 spot. Up 10 positions for Hayden. He's got a long ways to go to get up to Zach Johnson. About 3.5 second gap from P4 to P3. Zach Johnson all the way up the road here. Zach Johnson just hit the line now. And now here comes the 10 machine. So really this top four have started to separate themselves from the rest of the pack. Michael Deitch, Jonathan Ledger going a lap down. See the 903. That's Hudson Sangster out on track finally. Good to see the 903 out on track. Showed up a little bit late to the party. 52 laps down. 58 laps down, my apologies. Wanted to show up, run some laps here at Phoenix, I suppose. He's going to have the freshest lap. He's going to by far be the fastest truck on the track. And everybody else has 30 laps or 45 laps on your tires, considering who you are, versus Hudson, who has freshies, so. I'll take a couple laps for Hudson to figure out how the truck wants to run. Hudson looking on the top of the 53. And if this doesn't show what tire wear is going to look like, that is the worst lane you could probably pick there in 3 and 4. And he made it work very easily. See him get around Jonathan Ledger here in the 98. Jonathan up into the wall, actually. See that 903 start to drive through the field. Well, battle back on track. The 44 and this 3 have not been able to get away from each other. I'm surprised that the 3 has been able to, at least stay in front of this 44 with how much damage that truck has. The left side looks pretty good, but that right side is completely tore all the heck, and somehow keeping that truck underneath him. Well, that is by far your closest battle on track. The only other cars that are even around each other is Corey Mott is about 8/10 behind Higginbottom back there for 4th or 5th. But besides that, everybody is at least really 2 seconds away from each other. So everybody's starting to get spread out here. Long green flag run. Now you just have to start to wonder when guys are going to start coming down pit road. Now you look at Oakson, who's sitting at 7th. He's got 50 laps on this stint. So I'm not sure how much longer he can go on fuel. But he'll be kind of our experiment. Whenever he comes down, I'm going to say that's probably when you have to pit. But we now know that everybody else can go at least another 15 laps on fuel, so they can go to at least lap 80. You still see this battle for P8. Ed trying to size up this 3 machine. What if we're gonna try the top lane here? Now the 20 is falling back into the clutches of these three. Now it's a little 3-car pack here for 7th and 9th. And the tires for Jeffrey are really starting to show their age. Now 53 laps. I mean, his tires have to be crying right now. Trying to hold on to everything he can. Obviously, wrong strategy call. I mean, this would have been good if we got a caution 25 laps ago. But we've gone green since we've had that caution with Ryan Taft. Not with Ryan Taft, with Garth. And this is not what Jeffrey wanted to see. Same thing with Gibbons. He's on the same strategy. Back there in 12th. You know, a lap down. We know that Gibbons has good pace. We know he's got decent pace. He won a race here earlier this season. So we know that he has good pace. It's just unfortunately bad luck. This be all over the back tailgate of this 3 machine now. Finally starting to make up some headway. Just seeing how much they have to baby this truck. Oh, the 3. Wow, super sideways. Gonna allow Lisby to make a move on the top. Makes that move work. Tyler Bellinger finally worked his way back up here. I mean, he's been grinding out these laps. I mean, he's been one of the best trucks in the field right now. But got caught up and lost all of his track position. But we know he's got a fast truck. Right now, around, I would say, the 3rd or 4th best truck on lap time. Lee Hamby still showing everybody up right now. Everybody else besides Hamby at least in the 30s, and he's still running 29 9s, 29 8s. Everybody else is running, 30.1s, 30 flats, 32s, 30.2s. But Bellinger's starting to drive through the field. He's got the 44 and that 20 machine right in front of him. Right on board with this 88 for a lap. We'll call it a lap and a half. How about that? You're going to see a little bit of dirty air that comes into play here with these trucks. See, he's going to get around that 44. He's having to play with the throttle. And 40 now, 45 laps for everybody that's unanimously on the same pitch strategy. Besides some of those guys who are way like in the bad, right? I mean, Jeffrey Oaks here trying to hold on. 62 laps on these tires. Joe Gibbons finally gets around them. I don't think it's going to take very long for Bellinger to get around him. Bellinger gets her back around to 8 with a mistake once again. Bellinger going to look on the top. I think that's when he's going to pit here. Joe Gibbons pits. So 63 laps. I think is what we're going to call here is the pit window. About 60 laps. So you might see some guys like Lee try to save some fuel here. Because they're almost within that window. They have 70 to go. And they just went 63. They kind of unanimously hit it together. So if you can go even just a little bit further, I mean, you might be able to one-stop this thing. Obviously, those two are not going to be able to make it unless they hard save as well. But if you can save fuel right here, just a little bit. I mean, they're within 10 laps of leading the pit. I actually think they'll easily be able to make it. Because they're within, you know, I would say 5 or 10 laps of the fuel window right now. Lee Hamby, I mean, walking away with it. 5, almost 6 second lead to 25. 25 with a 3-second lead to the 33. Have a little bit of a battle once again. Hagen bottom. Tyler Bellinger getting around Ted Lisby. Or Ted Lisby running down Tyler Bellinger, actually. But while we have the time, we're actually going to take a quick commercial break. And we'll be right back for green flag pit stops. At least for the window. To make it to the good. So we'll be right back. We'll let you hear from our partners of at iRacing. My mic was muted that whole time. I am so sorry, everybody at home. We went through the field real quick. Lee Hamby. I was probably muted since that commercial break, wasn't I, everybody? Lee Hamby in first, P2, and James Hebert in the second place. Zach Johnson, P3. Tyler Bellinger, P4. Finally getting around Higginbottom. Higginbottom falls back to P5. It's Corey Mott. Starts to run down that driver. Ed Lisby up into the P7 spot. Up 2 spots. Garth Griswold holding on with that damage in P8. And rounding out your top 10, Jeffrey Oakes and Michael Deitch. Both 1 lap down. We have crossed the 2/3 mark here in this race, and once again everybody's starting to get spread out. What's this battle is between Higginbottom and Bellinger. Bellinger just got around the 10 machine. Trying to run down that 33. Now, Zach Johnson been in third all race. The 33 in third, it just feels right. Now, I don't think he's really moved anywhere. Ice of second. Boa fifth. Not a bad stat line for Zach Johnson and that M&M's machine. And everybody should be good on gas, so it's just about who can maintain their pace, who can maintain the tires, who can keep the tires underneath them. Fortunately, Lee started to pull away once again from Hebert. Lee's just shown to have the best car. Led 105 of the 106 of the 110 laps now. I mean, only 4 that he hasn't led, and those 4 were a couple of from guys staying out and doing pit strategies at the start of the race. And even then, he took that lead back on the restart. The only laps that were led were under caution for those 2, because you have the 2 pace laps for the 2 separate times that the other drivers decide to stay out. Besides that, he has led every green flag lap besides the restart. And hopefully he can bring it home. I hate to be that commentator's curse, but we've shown how fast he can be, and he's put himself in spots to where he's got taken out, right? Hopefully he can hold it all together and finally get a win that he deserves to have. And he's been up here in the top 3 all season. I would say he's been a top 5 driver all season long. He's just been put in spots to where he gets taken out for stuff out of his doing. But as we see, 38 to go at Phoenix. Battle heating up. Hayden Higginbottom has started to run down the 88 machine once again. And Tyler burned his stuff up trying to get back to the 33. Or is Hayden just trying to keep up with them? And is Hayden burning his stuff up trying to get back to the 88? Hayden has not been able to get back to him since he hasn't been able to make a move, I guess is the best way to put it. Since he got to the 88, he's been sitting back there. 35 to go. He's got plenty of time to set something up. But everybody besides this battle right here for the P4 spot, once again, starting to spread out. Lee Hamby now with the 2.5 gap over Hebert. Consistently about a 10th quicker lap than James right now in that 25 machine. I say that they kind of match lap time, 8:05 to an 8:15. And James doing everything he can to keep that Hamby machine in eyesight, but I mean, Lee's just been the guy to beat all race. Back to Zach Johnson. Higginbottom gets around Bellinger as we were looking at your race leader. Now he's going to go try to run down this 33 machine. Some good long run pace out of this 10 car right now, at least. Obviously, we still have 32 to go. We're about halfway in this fuel run. Will this 10 machine fall off? Or is he just set up the truck to be a little bit better on this long run? You've seen Bellinger go up there and try to run the top. Maybe he used this stuff up. He's starting to get ran down by the 99 of Corey Mott now. Mott, one of the drivers known for their long run pace as well. So this really shows like who is burning their stuff up. I just looking at the drivers who consistently set their truck up for the long run, starting to drive their way through the field. You see now Mott all over the back tailgate of that 88 machine. Oh, almost some contact. Bellinger gives the 99 some room. Gonna race him off the corner. Bellinger with the run off the top. Gonna stay clear for now of this 99 machine. Yeah, Bellinger's pace has fallen off drastically. Ever since Higginbottom got around, he's already gapped him by a 1.5 seconds. I understand Corey not wanting to burn the stuff off, but he's obviously getting slowed down by this 88. But if I'm Corey, I'd be just a little bit more aggressive than I usually am. Try to get around this 88. Wish we had another co-reporter with us, because now we have two battles on track right now. One for the P3 position, one for the P5 position. Now we see Higginbottom slowly running down this 33 machine. I just think Hayden's doing a lot better job than a lot of these drivers at keeping that car planted on the bottom. Right now, he's not as fast as your top two drivers, but obviously has been able to get up to Bellinger, to get up to Mott, to get up to now Zach Johnson pretty quickly now, and trying to make a move around him. Now he's just got this 33 in front of him to try to get around to secure this podium position. Corey Mott has not been able to keep that speed in the truck to stay up with the Bellinger machine. Corey now about 0.5 seconds behind that 88. Right now, this battle for P3 is the best one on track. And it's fun. It's fun to look at these unique lines that these drivers are taking. You see Hayden, you know, giving up a little bit of entry speed. So you're gonna see him run a different line now. But when he was running the bottom, he was giving up a little bit of entry speed, a little bit of exit speed. But he was rolling really well on the bottom. And I think that's helping save tires versus Zach. He was kind of going a lane higher, kind of using the truck up a little bit more and using the momentum off the corner to keep himself ahead of this 10 machine. But them battling, it's allowing the 88 of Bellinger to, I wouldn't say start to lurk, but he's definitely not losing time now like he was before. Matter of fact, he's gaining just a little bit as we speak. Hayden's last lap at 31.16 versus Tyler's 29.93. So almost over 2 tenths quicker that lap for the 88. Trying to run these third and fourth place drivers down. The laps are counting down for this 10 if he wants to get around to 33. Now going to 21 to go. I mean, there's not a lot of time. If he's got anything left in the tank, he's going to have to start figuring something out. Active race leader looks like he's about to get around the 17 of Michael Deitch. And now with almost a 2-second gap to Hebert. Hebert getting around Jim Mott in that number 1 machine. Nice looking Bush Apple truck. And all the way 5 seconds behind this pack is now the 33. Who's trying to hold on to this 3rd place spot. But I think Hayden just has a little bit of a better truck right now. You see now the 33 is starting to get the yaw out the rear end. Trying to get anything he can out of this truck to stay at front. Now 3 drivers out of the race. Joe Gibbons has decided to pack it up. Hudson Sangster, and run a couple of laps, decided to park it. Obviously, Ryan Taft with a lot of damage from that earlier incident has decided to call it a night as well. And now we have 5 cars laps down right now. Jeffrey Oaks in that 21 lap down. Michael Deitch, Jim Mott, and Ryan Persinger all 2 laps down. And Jonathan Ledger back there in 13th, 3 laps down. Last car on track. Taking a Ledger, here he comes in the 4 shot. If the 33 can get around this 98 machine. We'll let the 33 and the 10 go. Very nice of him to do that. Jonathan Ledger, we'll give a little bit of a spotlight to him. He doesn't really get a lot of TV time as he blinks. One of the known painters in the Crown Jewel community. Big Mopar fan. Obviously, you see the Dodge Mopar sponsored truck here. The Dodge with the Chevy banner, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Unfortunately, right now, iRacing doesn't have all the legacy truck content. They only gave us the Silverado. We don't have the Ford. We don't have the Dodge. But we all know Ledger is a Dodge guy, a Mopar guy. So he had to do what he had to do. This 10 has still not been able to get around the 33 machine. Tyler Bellinger's pace decided to fall off once again. Allowed Corey Mott to slowly work his way back into the picture. Corey Mott within, well, he lost a little bit of time getting around that lap car, but it was within half a second to Bellinger. You see him in the 4 shot. Still, the best battle on track is between the 10 and the 33 for this 3rd place. The 10 has just not been able to do anything with this. It's kind of the same thing you saw earlier in the race, that the 33, you know, it looked like he was holding people up at the start of the race, but no one could get around him. So he just kind of sat there, and the guys behind kind of burned their stuff up trying to get around him, and he just pulled away. Same thing with this 10 machine. Has gotten there, has sat there at the tailgate of this 33 truck, has not been able to make a move to get around him. I don't know if this is intentional, if he's just trying to run his pace, and then he'll try to go get him maybe later in this run. I mean, there's only 13 to go. Plenty of laps, especially when you're this close, but if I'm Higginbottom, I'd get away. I mean, I'd try to get around him as soon as I can, but I don't have to worry about it later in the stage. Corey Mott has caught the 88. Did 88 in the wall a little bit. Corey Mott right now, one of the fastest trucks on track, actually. Last lap was a 29.98. The only truck that was faster than him was your race leader of Lee Hamby. Close racing between the 88 and the 99. And on board with Corey Mott, you can actually see that battle for that P3 spot here on this onboard. '99 look on the inside. Gonna try to wrap that yellow line. He's gonna clear the 88. Does the 88 have a run off the corner though? He does not. Corey Mott makes the pass, putting himself into the P5's position. Does the 88 have any more pace left in that truck to try something to get back? Or did Corey just save his stuff a little bit better? Oh, a big move by the 10 machine up here. I think he saw 10 to go. It's time to put, you know, put everything on the line here. Now you see the 33. He's going to start to aggressively block a little bit more. Try to keep this 3rd place secure. Aiden Higginbottom, Zach Johnson. Something's got to give. I really do think that this 10 has a little bit of a better truck. Just has not been able to get around them. And with them battling and holding stuff up, Corey Mott is not out of the picture here with 7 to go. Only a 1.5 seconds back. And running a little bit quicker. Almost half a tenth a lap better. Corey Mott actually was the fastest truck on the track that lap. Not by much. Corey showing some late race pace here. Oh, mistake out of the 10. He gets into the wall. He's going to have to regroup if he wants a chance to get back to the 33 machine. But the 33 will have to negotiate around Michael Deitch. Coming around. Now 5 to go here, presented by TH Designs. And Lee Hamby has just been the guy to beat all race. And he's been so far out in front, we haven't really talked about him that much. I mean, hands down, he got to beat. He's led every green flag lap here. Let's take a back and look at this battle here. Corey Mott is slowly closing in. I don't know if he's going to have enough time to get to these two. Now going to 4 to go. Corey Mott is looking quick though. He's back now, almost to half a second back. You see him in the background trying to get around Michael Deitch. He might have something for these two if he can get there. Coming around, 2 to go here at Phoenix. The race for the win has been settled a long time ago. This is by far our best race right here. Higginbottom, Zach Johnson, and now Corey Mott is there. What's Corey Mott going to do, though? I think he definitely has a better truck here. Is he willing to put the bumper? Coming out of turn 3 and 4. Dominating performance here. And Lee Hamby's going to get his first win here at Phoenix. Great win by him. James Hebert, P2. Zach Johnson is going to hold on. He's going to get P3. Payne Higginbottom, P4. You see Corey Mott back there in P5. What a good battle from these three. Tyler Bellinger back there. Oh, with some contact between him and Deitch. I don't think that was I think that was an accident there. Looked like Deitch was just trying to park the truck. Ted Lisby gonna get that P7. We'll go back around and let this 904 burn it down here. Well-deserved victory here at Phoenix. You see him burn it down there. We'll go ahead and take at your unofficial race results here, brought to you by HVTV. Lee Hamby obviously winning here at Phoenix International Raceway. James Hebert, P2. Zach Johnson holds on for P3. Hayden Higginbottom, P4. Corey Mott with a nice top 5. Tyler Bellinger, P6. Ted Lisby, P7. Garth Griswold, P8. P9. Jeffrey Dokes. Michael Deitch will round out your top 10. Rounding out the field, Jem Mott, Ryan Persinger, Jonathan Ledger, Joe Gibbons, Hudson Sangster, Ryan Taft, and Xander Short out early here. But before we talk to your race winners, we're going to make sure that they're in the booth, ready to go. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll talk to your top 3 winners after a word from our sponsor over at iRacing.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Legacy Sportsman Truck Series post show presented by TH Designs. Thank you so much to TH Designs for sponsoring the league and making sure everything goes around. Make sure to check out his X account down in the description down below. And once again, thank you to TH Designs for sponsoring Sportsman Legacy Truck Series. We get ready to talk to your top 3 finishers for tonight's race. We're going to go ahead and talk to your P3 driver, and Zach Johnson. Hey Zach, it's Christian up here in the HVTV booth. You got a copy? Well, definitely, I would say a pretty consistent race for you. It kind of sat there in that P3 spot. I think you qualified around there as well, P2,
Yep.
and just kind of sat there the whole race. Really never gave it that P3. Had a good battle between you, Hagenbottom, and Corey back there at the line. But just walk us through your race and walk us through, that finish.
Well, I kind of felt like I was pretty far off for the guys in front of me, and then at least the first half of that race, the guys behind me were a good chunk off of me, so I was kind of in no man's land by myself for the first half. So, but that last run there, I kind of used my stuff up pretty early, trying to stay with the two in front of me, and it came back. Well, it was about to come back and bite me if this race was 10 laps longer, but got it done P3. Pretty much ran that all race long, and yeah.
Yeah, kind of, a self-explanatory race. I mean, I agree. I think no one had anything for those two up front, but you seem to be consistently up there in the P3, kind of in no man's land all race, until that final kind of last 30 laps where you said you kind of burned your stuff up. But walking us through this legacy track, obviously a lot of people are used to racing here at Phoenix in these trucks with the pickup cup series and all that stuff. But walk us through how much more difficult it is than it seems here, like from a fan perspective.
It's I mean it's pretty difficult. It's a very technical track. The bumps can be scarce down there in the bottom, and so you got to kind of pick and choose if you want to use your stuff up a little more to stay face off the bumps, or you want to just kind of roll the bottom and risk losing a lot of spots and breaking the truck out loose. So it's a rhythm track. You got to be consistent. Not the easiest place to pass either. So getting spots and restarts really mattered. And when I came off pit road second, I think that first pit stop, I knew that James was going to blow past me in the first 10 laps anyways. So I made the wise choice of letting him go and saving my stuff. And that's when we saw that long run where I had a 3-second gap to fourth and was just about to pit and that caution came out. So yeah, I mean, it's a tough track to race and a tough track to get right.
We could definitely see it out there. I mean, especially you trying to hold out that 10, trying to yell that truck out there at the end, and it definitely seemed like you were putting everything you could to keep him behind you.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, but before we let you go, is there anybody you want to shout out? Any sponsors, friends, or family watching at home? Anybody you'd like to thank for this podium position?
Thank you for broadcasting. Thanks for everyone for showing up and making it a good, pretty clean race.
Well, I appreciate the shout outs and support. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and drag you out and let you get prepared for next week here in this Legacy Sportsman Truck Series. But once again, congratulations on that P3 finish. Maybe we can talk to you later.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yep, have a good rest of the night. That was your third place finisher. And Zach Johnson. Let's go ahead and talk to your P2 finisher at number 25, James Hebert. Hey, James, it's Christian up here in the HVTV booth. You got a copy?
Sure do.
Well, I would say a pretty plainer race for you. Kind of, you finished where you started, back up there in that P2 spot. But, I don't think anybody had anything for lead there, especially on the long run. But walk us through your race. Walk us through, how difficult this track is really to navigate here, here at this, Legacy Phoenix.
The track's pretty difficult. It's definitely a challenge getting out of the corners for sure. I needed some more time, some more practice, all that good stuff to figure out one and two. That's where my weakness was. It's where it always is on this track. And then of course we're running the legacy version, so all my typical turn points and break points are gone for one and two. So I was really struggling with that all race, just trying to figure out how to run that corner. But my 3 and 4 was excellent. Truck handled great. Just like I said, need some more time to figure out how to run that 1 and 2 and really get up there and challenge the lead, because I was hoping for a caution at the end there. I felt I had really good short run pace, and that's where I could capitalize potentially. I'll get past the leader tonight, but happy to finish second. Happy to start second. Happy to finish second. So overall, good night for me, I would say.
You talk about that turn too. It's obviously running here at the Legacy version or the Phoenix International Raceway version, where there's no dog leg. You can't cut down there, and obviously you talked about, even on the new track, right? It's kind of your worst spot. Now coming back to Legacy version where there's that grass there, it's just completely different, right? How much does that change how you set up for the track and prepare?
It changes a lot. To be honest, I thought we're going to Pocono. I got the Phoenix and Pocono mixed up. I don't know why I did that, but so it's definitely tricky getting that second corner figured out to carry that speed into 3. I'm actually indifferent to the dog leg or not. I typically don't run the dog leg. I don't think it gives you a big enough advantage except for restarts on the long run of things on your tires, because you wind up burning the tires up a bit more running the apron there.
Yeah, everybody has their preferences, I guess, of what they want to run. Obviously, I agree that when you cut that dog leg, I mean, because it's just the bump you get, it just kind of uses your stuff up. But regardless, like you said, qualified P2, finished P2. I don't really think anybody had a lot for Lee, but besides that, you can't really be angry at that. But before we let you go, is there anybody you want to thank for this second place finish? Any friends, family, sponsors, anybody you'd like to thank for this P2
I
finish?
just want to thank. I just want to thank those who put on the league and run this every weekend and in and out. There's a lot of work that goes into building up these leagues, so appreciate everybody who does that for us. Other than that, not really. I'm just here, just racing and doing what I love to do with people that are good to do it around. So shout out to everybody about the around this league as well. They're a solid bunch of guys.
Yeah, I mean, a great group of guys, great community here for the Crown Jewel guys. But yeah, I can't agree more. But once again, congratulations on this P2 finish. Hopefully, we can talk to you next week, maybe in Victory Lane.
Yeah, that's the hope. I'll have to actually take a look at the schedule and see where we're at instead of I guess. But yeah, thanks. Have a good one.
Yep, you too. Have a good rest of the night. That was your P2 finisher there, and James Heber. And I guess it's time to talk to the man of the hour, the man, the man of the week, probably. I mean, what a performance by him. But let's go ahead and talk to your race winner here, and Lee Hamby. Hey Lee, it's Christian up here in the HVTV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, I don't know how else to put it, but a dominating performance by you here at Phoenix. I mean, really didn't leave any cards out on the table. You when you took the
Yeah,
green, you never gave it away. I mean, you led. I mean, 147 of the 151. I mean, you can't really say anything else but dominating here.
yeah, I was glad to put one together finally. I've had good speed the whole time. I just had to put one together from the beginning to the end.
No, I definitely agree. I mean, you were quick at Charlotte and got taken out in a late race restart. Good at Daytona, got taken out in the big one, and then you were good at Homestead, got taken out of something out of your own. And luckily today, you started on the pole, never really gave the lead up, and even when those guys tried to out strategize you, you just retook it back on the restart. So, I mean, explain to us for the fans at home. Obviously, you knew the track the best out of everybody. I mean, you came home with almost a 5-second gap. I mean, how technical is this track, and you know how difficult is it to just continue to hit your marks here, especially in this legacy truck?
Oh, it's very difficult, and it's real hard on the tires. So I was trying to get a little bit of a lead so I could just save my stuff, and that's what I was doing. I was trying to save in case we had a late caution.
Yeah, I definitely agree that. I feel like for me, especially with my driving style, I always tend to try to set the truck up or the car, whatever you're driving, to be a little bit better on the long run. Because you never know if you're gonna get a late race caution or if it will go green, right? I feel like always having the better long run truck is always the best way to put it, right? If it goes green, you're gonna have the best truck on the long run, and if you get a late race caution, you'll have the best tires out of those guys who use their stuff up. But
Yeah,
besi-
yeah, I was glad to get that lead. That way I could save.
yeah, well, you definitely did a great job saving, and despite that, I mean, really nothing else to say but dominating, finally getting to get a checkered flag here in the Sportsman Legacy Truck Series. But before we let you go, is there anybody you want to thank for this win? Any sponsors, friends, family watching home, and really anybody you'd like to thank for this win here at Phoenix?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank the ones that put on the league and give us a place to race, and the guys that race here with us, and my wife and my kids for letting me race, and any of the coworkers that might be watching. Thank you.
Some great
And it'd be
shout
about it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, some great shout outs from you, Lee. And once again, congratulations on this. Finally, you getting into victory lane here, but congratulations on this victory here at Phoenix. And hopefully, we can maybe talk to you once again in victory lane next week.
Yeah, maybe it'll be more often.
Yeah, I'd hope so. Well, have a good rest of the night, and we'll talk to you soon.
You too, bud.
That was your race winner, Lee Hamby. I mean, man of the hour, man of the century, whatever you want to call him. Dominating performance here at Phoenix. And with all that, we'll start to wrap up your post race show. So we'll go ahead and start your post race show. First of all, we'll have to give a huge shout out to your sponsors here and TH Designs. Make sure to go over him and follow him over at TH Designs over on X. Does a great work with the stuff. Shout out to Delta Eagle Designs, our partner over here. If you guys also want some graphic work or some paint schemes, go over him and follow him over at Delta Eagle _80. If you guys are interested in joining the Crown Jewel community, whether it's racing or just being a part of it, we do have the Discord linked down below. And lastly, if you guys are interested in becoming a part of the HVTV family, we do also have the Discord link down below in the description. Guys, if you guys are interested in broadcasting, if you guys are interested in doing whatever, whether it's being in the booth, whether it's making graphics for us, whether it's you guys have something you want us to broadcast, make sure to join the Discord. That's the best way you're going to get a hold of me and everything else. But speaking of me, my name is Christian Delgado, your producer and commentator for tonight's race. And watched a heck of a battle there. You saw Lee kind of pull away and slowly gap the field there. But besides that, my name is Christian Delgado, your producer and commentator once again here from Central Kansas here in the HVTV studios. And you watched a production of the Sportsman Legacy Truck Series, once again presented by TH Designs here at Phoenix International Raceway. We'll be back here on the channel on Thursday for the Prestige Racing Cup Series. So be on the lookout for that. And then on Friday, we'll be back hopefully for the AWC Cup Series, Pro Series, if everything goes well with that. Once again, my name is Christian. I hope everybody has a great rest of the night, and we'll see you guys soon.